laboratory contributes to 80% of all healthcare decisions. I want to believe that each one of you is studying a course, either a certificate in laboratory techniques or a diploma in laboratory techniques. Am I right? Are there colleagues doing other courses?
No.
Not yet. I know as the institution expands, we shall have more colleagues coming in. So remember, when you have done your 2 years, the certificate, and the diploma is usually 3 years, not so. So when you do your certificate in laboratory technology, you must make sure that you continue and do a diploma in medical laboratory technology. But that is not enough. You have to enroll for a bachelor's degree in laboratory sciences. And that is not the end. You must enroll for a master's degree and you must do a PhD. Why? When you're studying lab, you hear about knowledge. When you're studying diploma, you start finding about the knowledge. When you're studying the bachelor's, you see the knowledge. When you're studying a master's, you discover where the knowledge is. And finally, when you enroll for a PhD, you bring on new knowledge. Don't worry, whichever level you are at today, just make sure that you remember KPI. Keep people informed. Keep people involved. Keep people interested. And all this should be done at Kampala Paramedic Institute and beyond. Remember, when you finish your course, you are out there in the field working as a professional. So, when I say that the medical lab contributes to 80% in healthcare decisions, I want you to refer to the story that I've told you about. The doctors in the skin clinic could not give treatment to this lady who had a fungal infection on her private parts because they needed to get to know what is causing that fungal infection. Is it a yeast? Is it a mold? Is it hive? What is it? All together, ladies and gentlemen. And that is how powerful you as the professionals who are training in lab are. I can assure you that whichever course you are doing, at whatever level, you contribute to 80% of the healthcare decisions in the world. You can see these are dermatologists, they are specialists in skin diseases. They could not prescribe a drug because they needed to get results from the lab. So while you're doing your classwork, you also do practical notes. Am I right? Yes. Yeah, you also do internships out there when you go to the field for placement. While you're there, no one knows you are a student. Depending on where you are. The most important thing is, what do you do while you are there? Beginning with what do you do while you are here, I can tell you, me having studied lab was the best decision I made. That's why I'm requesting you that you have to progress from certificate through diploma, through bachelor's, through master's, through PhD. It is very possible, ladies and gentlemen. You just have to KPI, keep people informed, keep people interested, keep people involved. I want to believe that we're on the same page.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the laboratory contributes 80%. Before all these clinicians do their work, they have to listen to you. Because the lab is involved in screening. You understand by screening? Eh? Screening, you want to know what is happening. Is it positive, negative? The lab contributes to what you call confirmation of disease. The lab contributes to treatment monitoring, what you call prognosis. When you are on medication or when a patient has received medication, how are they responding to the treatment? That's why people have to go back, like the people who are taking ARVs. You find that they have to go to the lab routinely to find out their CD4 status, their viral load status. They are already on treatment, but how are they responding? The lab contributes to what we call surveillance. Have you ever heard of the HIV household survey? Maybe you've seen people moving door to door doing HIV testing. Some people have gone door to door doing testing for different diseases, malaria, TB, and the like. That is how important this course you're doing is. The Baganda will say tewenyoma. How do you say it in your local language? Tewenyoma. Tewenyoma. How do you pronounce it? Tewenyoma is don't underlook yourself. Know that you are in the right institution, know that you are in the right course, and know that your time is now. Are we together? So the first E is education. You must study. When you're here, you must be a student. You must attend all the lectures. All the sessions for the library, be there. All the sessions for practical, be there. All the sessions for placement, be there. While you are on holiday, go and talk to the people in the different health facilities and request for placement. Ladies and gentlemen, keep interested, keep informed, keep involved. The second E stands for exposure. By exposure, we mean, what do you know? If we say a trinocular microscope, how many people have seen a trinocular microscope? A trinocular microscope. You've seen one?
Only electron, but on book.
Yes. Many of you have smartphones. Don't fear. Check. Now when we were in high school, we were using those monoculars. Then we upgraded to the binoculars. But now they are what you call trinocular microscopes. Those are microscopes which have the function of connecting a camera. Sometimes you can connect a camera of your phone. Sometimes you can connect a tablet. They come with a tablet. So while you're studying, you must understand how the world is changing in terms of technology. There's a type of phone called Mapesa. What was a Mapesa? I forgot my Mapesa. You can handle. That's what we call Mapesa. Then there are those phones we call smart.
Screen touch.
Some people call them TS, touch screen, not tomato sauce. Ladies and gentlemen, as you go about your studies, understand that letter E means exposure. If we talk about a centrifuge, How many kinds of centrifuges do you know? There is a manual centrifuge, not so?
Yes.
Then there are electric. Means, have you ever been to the lab? Do you know some lab equipment? When we talk about a CBC machine, what do we know? 3-part, 5-part, and now they add cells. But also there are those manual cell counters where you are pressing and counting the number of neutrophils, xenophils. You know that one? It's called a tally count. It is a manual form of CBC. So while you are going about with your studies, you must understand the language of the profession. And understanding the language of the profession requires you to be able to listen. When I say trinocular microscope, you should know how it looks like, not so. Trinocular microscope, you should know how to write it. Trinocular microscope, you should know how to pronounce the word. And you should know how to understand what it does. When I talk about malaria parasites, there are 5 different types. Plasmodium what? Plasmodium? Number one, Plasmodium? 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 And Plasmodium knowles. It is common in the Far East Asia. So, while we are talking about those different species of Plasmodium, you must know what they mean. How do they look like? Do you know the difference when it comes to speciation? Why? Because when you're treating a patient and they are not responding to your treatment, what is the problem? So that means that in whatever you do, make sure that you apply what you study in class in a real life experience. And when you do that, you do what you call professional discipline. Professional discipline is part of letter E, exposure. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very important that you understand that letter E also stands for expertise. We began with the first E, which is education. The second E, exposure. The third E, expertise. Expertise talks about technical know-how. Technical know-how. This talks about your skills as a person. What do you know? And how can you apply it in your day-to-day activities? Expertise is what we call core competence. When you're looking for an opportunity for work, the employer is looking for the core competence in you. What do you know? I studied the certificate in lab techniques. So what? What can you do? Can you do phlebotomy? You know phlebotomy? Yes. Can you do basic lab management and hygiene? Expertise is what makes you stand out from the crowd. There is what we call USP. You have boiled water around or any drinking water? No, I want some little for that hiccup is dead. Yes. So Mumwamazan. So ladies and gentlemen, expertise stands for your core competence. And we have said your core competence is what we call USP. I think you are noting that also. USP stands for unique selling promise. USP, unique selling promise. USP stands for unique selling point. USP stands for unique selling proposition. For example, when you're going to shower, you can use either lifebuoy or washing soap or duru or geisha or protex, or there are many types. The question of USP is, why do you choose one type of soap over the other? You find that someone says, for me, I use only Airtel. What about your MTN line? No, Airtel is enough. Someone will say, I have two lines. I have MTN because of this. I have Airtel because of this. That is what we call USP. USP is unique selling promise, unique selling point, unique selling proposition. And the USP is your letter E, expertise. What makes you better than the other? You as a student of Kampala Paramedics Institute, what is unique about you that students from other schools do not have? So while you're here, you have to build your USP. You have to be well educated, you have to be exposed, you have to be competent. You must build your third letter E, which is expertise. Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth E stands for experience. Now, experience adds up the whole journey from when you entered school through when you finished kindergarten, primary, secondary, certificate, diploma, degree, master's, PhD. Experience. In simple terms, experience is what do you know in totality, in terms of theory and in terms of practice. So when we talk about experience, we are saying that when you finish school, you must register with the regulator. For example, currently the lab is regulated under Allied Health Professionals Council. This is what we call the Gazette. When you go and type in Google the name Ngattu, N-G-A-T-T-U, Ngattu, you will see the name Ngattu is on the Allied Health Professionals Council Professionals Gazette. So when you finish your certificate, please go and register so that you are added on the Gazette. The Gazette means that you are qualified to work in any lab in Uganda. As a profession, you are not a quack. When you finish the diploma, go and update from lab assistant to lab technician. When you finish the diploma, go and update from lab technician to lab technologist. When you finish the bachelor's and you do a master's, please go and update because you are now a lab specialist. And when you finish the master's and you do a PhD, you go and update so that you become a lab consultant. All together. So ladies and gentlemen, letter E, the fourth letter E stands for experience. And experience is not enough if you do not have professional ethics. As someone who is in medical school, you know this is a medical school because you're studying a medical course. As someone who is in a medical school, there is a way you have to conduct yourself because you are himself in training. It doesn't matter whether you are doing certificate, it doesn't matter whether you're doing diploma, or bachelor's, or master's, or PhD. As a medical professional, you must conduct yourself very, very well because of what you call professional ethics, professional ethical conduct. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicators. You as a student of KPI, Kampala Paramedix School, how do you know you are doing good work? Step 1, attend all school activities. I believe there is a school timetable, not so. You must follow the school rules and regulations. Because it is not expected that while you're here, the principal is looking for you. No. You must conduct yourself in such a way that you know that it is important to have professional, ethical conduct. Because when you perform well, thank you. When you perform well while at school, you will definitely excel while at the place of work. Experience. When you come to my inbox and you're telling me, Ngattu, I need a job, I'll tell you, don't look for a job. Look for an opportunity for work. There's a very big difference. Job versus opportunity for work. Job means just overbroke. Eh? Job means just overbroke. The Baganda will say, Kumala Gafora. A splendid lab, yes. We have a job here. We will be earning 2,000 per day cleaning the lab. You are desperate, you're looking for a job. You are just overbroke. Please don't look for jobs. Look for opportunities for work. Because this 4 stands for your education, your exposure, your expertise, your experience. You must know that you are well qualified to work in a given lab or in a given institution. So don't just do anything because you are desperate, no? And don't wait to look for an opportunity for work when you finish. Start now. The way you conduct yourself. All these colleagues you see here are your future employers, are your future fellow employees. So, while you're here, there are no egos, there are no bad feelings. You're all students at Kampala Paramedix School. Most importantly, you are all medical lab professionals. So when it comes to letter E, don't just think of the hospital lab, no. You as a scientist, there are so many places you can work in. You can work in a health center 3, not so. In a health center 4, you can work in a district hospital or a general hospital. You can work in a regional referral hospital. You can work in a national referral hospital. You can work in a super specialized lab. And even if you have studied medical, what you call human health, you can work in an animal health environment. Ladies and gentlemen, so while you go about your work, remember that you as a scientist, you can work in a medical laboratory or you can work in a veterinary laboratory. Because ethics cuts across various industries. So, as a lab professional, number 1, you can work in a medical sector, what we call human health. As a medical professional or as a lab professional, you can work in what you call the veterinary sector or animal health. You as a professional, you can work in what you call plant health. You as a professional, you can work in environmental health. You as a professional, you can work in a factory, in the industry. You as a professional, you can work in what we call aviation and space medicine. So don't say, me, I studied a certificate in medical lab techniques. No way. You have to think outside the box, but also think like there is no box. That's why I'm saying, please don't go looking for job, because job means you are just overbroke. Look for opportunities for work. Opportunities for work require you to utilize your 4 E's. Your education, your exposure, your expertise, your experience. So I summarized my presentation, and I know you will get copies. But the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, is for you to understand that as a scientist, you can work anywhere. School just opens you the door to so many opportunities. So to go back to the story, I was able to collect a sample from the lady, and I found that she had hyphae in her fungal infection. So when I gave the diagnosis to the dermatologists, they were able to give her the right treatment. Then we also did a fungal culture. A fungal culture usually takes 3 months, and we did it, confirmed the diagnosis. So whenever I meet that man, he salutes me. Forget that he chased us from the barrier when we were in P5 that we were attending. Yes, so as a lab professional, no one will underlook you. But for you to be respected, you must be able to show that you are worth respecting. Know what you know very well, and defend your education. Show you are competent, so that when someone asks you, okay, what's your experience, you are able to talk about your unique selling point, your unique selling position, your unique selling promise. Have you heard of a planet called Mars? Remember those days of P2, we studied about the solar system. There are so many planets. Earth is one of them. Venus, Jupiter, Mars, the moon, you understand? So there is a planet called Mars. And scientists are trying to find out whether Mars can be occupied by human beings. But whenever they take astronauts, those people, the pilots who go into space, when they come, before they go, they have to be checked in a lab, aviation, or space medicine facility. And that's what we call aviation medicine or space medicine. So while you're here today, don't think about Kulambi. Don't think about Kampala. Don't think about your village. Think broadly. We are saying think outside the box, but most importantly, think like there is no box. Today you are here. Learn a new language. In addition to English, learn Kiswahili. Learn French, Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, Arabic. I have a friend of mine who is a lab assistant. He went to Saudi Arabia as a supermarket attendant. He's now working in a hospital. So, the key message is, while you are here, this is just the beginning of your whole life. Please utilize this opportunity very, very well. And we have said that while you're here, you have to observe what we call professional ethics, professional ethical conduct. If there are institutional rules and regulations, you have to follow them. I have a friend of mine, whenever she's in her menses, she misses class because of cramps. Cramps cannot stop you from going to class. You just need to make sure that you go to a clinician who can advise on what you should do. Because no one is going to wait for you to first finish your 3 or 4 days of cramps. I remember at university we had some students who were SDA, Seventh-day Adventists. And for them they were saying, for us we don't study on Saturday, my friend. School is school. You understand? You have to be flexible. Sometimes there are lectures and practicals on Saturday, on Sunday. Don't say, me, I'm a Christian. When you are a student, school comes first. Because that is part of what you call ethical conduct. We have said you cannot be a professional before you register with Allied Health Professionals Council. But remember that as a professional, you must belong to an association. The Association for Lab Professionals in Uganda is the Uganda Medical Lab Technology Association. UMOTA. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we are discussing today should prepare your career. If you had given enough, I am here to tell you, you are just starting. And you have a whole amazing life ahead of you. Certificate in lab techniques, diploma in lab technology, bachelor's in laboratory sciences, master's in lab sciences or any other specialty, PhD. You have to move from a lab assistant to a lab technician, to a lab technologist, to a lab specialist, to a lab consultant. In the next few years, you want to hear that you have finished your PhD. My sisters, don't get pregnant today. First finish school. I don't laugh, these are matters of our profession. Because for you to prove that your client is pregnant, you must do an HCG test. Not so. Yes. But it is not a crime to be pregnant. Yes. I also have to clarify that. Because we were all born out of wanted or unwanted pregnancies. But that is not important. What is important is the KPI that we are professionals of lab medicine studying at Kampala Paramedix Institute. And we want to think outside the box and think like there is no box. So while you are here, please protect the brand of this institution. When you are out there, those boda guys should not say, "Abo, tubamanyi wachafu." Please protect the reputation of our school. Dress professionally. There has to be a difference between you and someone from another school. Is your lab coat clean? Or the buttons are supposed to be 5 but 2 are existing? You know why you're studying? When we were in P1, we were told that STD stands for? Why are you shy? STD stands for? Are you sure? Are you sure? Yes. Who are sure that STD stands for sexually transmitted diseases? You have to be sure. Ladies and gentlemen, STD stands for sexually transmitted diseases. But for us in the healthcare sector, we know that STDs also stand for socially transmitted demons. Don't get surprised. I am here to share with you about the future starting now. Socially transmitted demons. How do you know that someone has a socially transmitted demon? I'm sure you know all the characteristics. I'm sure you already know a neighbor who is carrying one. I'm very sure you know your friend in the village who has a socially transmitted demon. So while for us we are treating STDs, the sexually transmitted diseases, also remember that when you have a patient before you, you have a whole human being. There is a professor who told us, abasawo moina amaaso naye moisanga bataso. So we're like, why is this professor busy us? That you medics have eyes but you don't utilize them. A patient comes complaining of fever. Hey, fever. Okay, malaria. Yeah, malaria is positive. Okay. The patient is given anti-malarials. But the patient doesn't heal. Why? The same patient who is before you has told you just one infection. They have a fever. But the same fellow has arthritis foot. Tinea pedis. You know tinea pedis? Fungal infection of the feet, the toes. Remember those days we were playing in water during the rains? We would get itchy what? Get some itching in the feet, especially between the toes. That's what we call arthritis foot or tinea pedis. This fellow you are checking for malaria has ulcers. But for them, their issue at the moment is fever. So you as a medic, you must treat this patient in totality. You're dealing with a person who is stressed. Maybe they broke up with their friend yesterday. Maybe they lost someone. Maybe they have not eaten in a week. So while you're doing your work, please look at your clients professionally, understand their pain points. Because you are not just a lab professional, you are supposed to be a healer. Your results are relied on by different clinicians. So do the right thing. Choose the right sample, choose the right sample at the right time, choose the right sample volume, choose the right test. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome comments or questions from you. But remember, KPI stands for Heal People Informed. Heal People Informed. Heal People Interested. Kampala Pharmaceutical Industries. Key Performance Indicators. But most importantly, Kampala Paramedix Institute. Education, exposure, expertise, and experience. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't look for jobs. Look for opportunities for work. And while you're here, remember that next time you're going to be an alumnus, an OB and OG of this institution. Please bring more people to come here. Those friends of yours who are in different schools, invite them to join this school. Because if you're 30 today, you want this school to grow from 30 to 40, to 50 to 100. So that the directors are able to say, okay, let us add more structures in form of lecture rooms, in form of dormitories, in form of libraries, in form of labs. Because it is not the end. You have done your certificate, come back for the diploma. And that is not enough. Go and upgrade, do a degree, do a master's, do a PhD. Become an opinion leader. There are people we call KOLs. KOL. KOL stands for Key Opinion Leader. Become the expert. In your village, are you the youth councillor? Are you planning to become an MP? Are you planning to become one of the leaders in your village? There are so many radio stations in Uganda, so many TV stations. Can you share your knowledge with the world? Most of these media houses have free health shows. What do you know that can help the community to get better? So, your career starts today. I thank you so much.